back with another Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 15 review. Oh my lord, it was a bit action-packed, one of the best episodes to lead up to the finale and all that stuff. But yeah, we seen Simon's death, we seen Dwight get captured, and it was building up to Simon's death, the big fight between Simon versus Negan, and it was really packing. We seen Daryl and Rosie Doug capturing Eugene, and Eugene was being a pure dick, per se, and stuff like that. And we seen that confirm that Negan picked up Laura, and Laura was like being a badass and stuff like that. But overall, and then that thing of it with Michonne radio and Negan and reading Negan's letter to Carl. But overall, action packed. I love this. I love the build up. This second half overall. I like this second half of season 8 better than the first half of season 8, because this last second half of season 8 was just more build up. Besides the point, I'll go overall more in detail about the review for episode 15. So yeah, first off, we see Gregory meeting Simon, and Simon wasn't having it, and he was just like, I'm killing everybody, I'm done with it, and all this shit. He's going to it, and none of them didn't realize that Negan was alive. I think Dwight was the first one, and like, it was interesting because Negan's like, I want to hear yours for sure, not Simon's, and like, I think it's already knew that Negan was going to kill Simon, save Dwight, and keeping stuff like that. But yeah, I like the whole dynamic between Negan and Dwight talking about it. And then here comes Simon with Dwight, so he does so much for you and stuff like that, and you should join our group. And they done the group thing, but Simon was so intense with all this stuff, and it was unpackable, and it was really intense because we thought that Negan was going to kill Simon in the meeting with him on his knee with Lucille and whatever. And that meeting was really interesting too. The point of it was like Simon was trying to prove to Negan, like, oh, you still have loyalty to me, and I can prove you that I'm still the man Sam wasn't. And it looked like Negan wasn't having it. He's like, I'm just not paying attention to this asshole, he says. And we see Negan talking about more of how the sanctuary started with him building up. And we did confirm that Simon was the reason why they took Oceanside out's men and boys. But apparently, I guess what Negan says about him, they start building up the sanctuary. Simon might be in a group that he just killed everybody that didn't agree to him, and that's what Negan was talking about. He kept eyeing him. Now he don't fully trust him, and put him on his knees and was going to listen to him, but Negan played his cards right and proved it at the end when he killed him. And so after that, we seen with them making a game plan. Found out it was a fake because it was just pretty much setting Dwight up at the very end of it, and it was really cool how Dwight was like portraying it and made a map and give it to Gregory, and then Gregory went to the hilltop and gave it back to him, and the whole thing was so perfect and set up wonderful, and we proved that and we saw that and stuff like that, and yeah, it was action packed. And probably overall, I think what's the best part of this episode was the fight between, it's built up when all of them, with Simon told Dwight come out and we all meet up, and they all grow up and talk about how they're going to take Negan down, but that Simon didn't know Dwight already ratted him out to Negan, and Negan was behind the garbage thing when they was talking about it and captured him. Everybody died except Gregory and Dwight and Simon was going to come after Dwight, and oh, it was really, I think, wonderful how that played out. And even the actors was playing like that. It was wonderful how they played it out with their dialogue and stuff. It was wonderful. I'm appreciating. It's one of my top favorite episodes and stuff. We've seen that. We've seen with the big fight scene, with this fist fight, not no weapons, no the bat Lucille, not no knives or nothing. Just a big fight. And when this was going on, Dwight pulled Gregory outside to tell him, get back to the hilltop, get us the ring. But they don't know it's a big face off, big screwed up. So it's going to be interesting how that lead up to the finale and stuff like that. But yeah, interesting. I loved it. I'm curious. I can't wait to see it. This how it plays out in the finale. And so far like that. But with the other point, we got back to the big fight with Simon versus Negan, with them fist fighting, and it looked like Simon had over advantage between Negan, and then he kept out over just fighting, and then picking up Simon, slamming him, and then kicking him, and then choking the life out of him. It was so interesting to see Negan without his Lucille bat. We seen him when he introduction. We seen him fighting. Well, we seen him introduction bash people said him. We seen this throughout. Even we seen him with slicing up with Spencer with the blade, but seeing him with vulnerable with fist fighting with Simon, because Simon's over bigger than Negan per se, if you want to know. It's just mass wise, Simon's bigger than Negan. You would think that Simon had over advantage, but it was really interesting that Negan took him over and choked the life out of him and stuff. So yeah, and it was interesting at the end of it. We seen him. They didn't turn him. He was laying it up to the fence as his walker, and yeah, awesome walker per se. Who Stephen Young that plays Simon did a wonderful Walker impression of him being a zombie and stuff. Awesome, man. Awesome. Then we see at the very end with Simon and Dwight, Negan and Dwight talking about, you're my new right hand man, but set him up with Laura in the room, and everybody in the room, and they know that Dwight is the rat now. So it was really interesting how they built that up in this episode, and with Laura telling Negan, and Laura stepping up like, I had my motive. I was going to make my way, come back here and expose you as a rat. And that was wonderful how their little concept, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to build up Dwight, because Negan says he ain't going to kill him. It looks like it's going to look like he's going to be captured as a prisoner and bring him to the hilltop at their final battle. But yeah, overall, great episode before the finale. I want to hear your thoughts and opinion about this. Leave your comments below, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys in my next video.